طيب, this is the demo version of dynosim. I just wanted to share it with everyone. طيب, these tabs, you choose the parameters of the engine. So here it says short block. This is only a demo, so I can't alter a lot of stuff. So let's see. This is the power curve of this engine. Red is horsepower and green is torque. So let's just try to change one single parameter. Let's just try to change the cylinder head. Wedge, stock ports and valves. Let's change that to 4-valve head ported with large valves. And let's see the effect on the power curves. So this was making around, so let's take 5,000 RPM as a reference point. This engine at this configuration was making around 250 horsepower and around, I can't see the scale, so around at 5,000 RPM it was making around 250 and 250. Let's just take it for simplification matters. Now let's add the 4-valve cylinder head, or let's take the 4-valve race porting in mods just to exaggerate. See how much the graph will change. Yeah, let's go. Bang. Ooh. So not only did the horsepower change, just changing the valve cylinder head. So it went up from 250 to around 400. And not only that, you can see that at the top end, because of the 4-valve head and the porting and all the race modding, raising the roof, blending in the bowls and the valve seats, and etc. etc. I'm a bit tired. You can see how much that airflow this engine can take in at high RPMs, and this is what 4-valve cylinder heads are known for. Just an example. Let's see what this engine was making at 3,000 RPM. So at 3,000 RPM, let's see if this had a lot of effect on the low down torque. It should have. So at 3,000 RPM it was making 200 horsepower. This is making 200 horsepower and let's say 350. So let's take this back. Wedge. So at 3,000 it was making 200 and 350. At 3,000 it's still making 200, but the torque is up to around 375. So yeah, it does kind of make it a slight change. Let's try to see the numbers again. Yeah, it does make a slight change, but you could see where this cylinder head configuration, it taped off. It was tapering off around 3,500 and it was just die. So it was like, it was no use revving the engine past, let's see what, 4,000 RPM. It's like it's useless. That's it. Everything's just going down. Volumetric efficiency is dropping. You can see with this valve, cylinder head arrangement, things change a lot. You can see how much. Now this will be a very nice engine, very revvy, and very top-endy engine. Let's see if we keep the same top end, and let's add the compression ratio. So compression ratio here is 9.5. Let's bump it up to, okay, so let's look at the curves first. 5,000 RPM, 5,250, like everyone, like where the lines, the graphs cross over. It was at 375. So let's bump it up to 12.5. So I went up from 375 to 420. 25, so you gained 50 horsepower at that point. Let's try again. Well, let's raise the compression even more. Let's raise it up to 14. And graphs went up again. Not that much, but they went up again. Let's try if we take this engine with the this 14, let's put the compression ratio back to a more realistic 11.5. And let's play with the exhaust. Stock manifold, HP, small tube headers, let's take large step tubed race headers. So this should really bump the high RPM curve. Let's try. Whoa. Let's put the stock manifold back on. Oh, so at 5,250, crossover point is around 400. Bring back the exhaust manifold. Take the large stepped tube race headers, whatever that is. So we were at 375. Now we are up to 475. That's 100 horsepower just from changing the manifolds. So this is a dynosim power. Now I don't know. I don't remember. I guess current engine specs. Wow. Head chamber volume, head gasket bore, blah 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 blah. Okay, cancel. What's this? Quick iterator, pro iterator, port airflow. Intake test diameter, pressure drop, exhaust valve, intake valve. 8 data points, lift and flow, lift and flow. It's nice stuff. Cam math. Lobe center angled, intake duration, intake lift at valve lift, intake lift at valve, calculated valve timing points, seat to seat, airflow math, four barrel rating, pressure drop. What was simulation? This is run toolbars, units, tools. Yeah. This was just you can add some induction. So dual plane standard flow. No, let's change this to forced in. Let's try a dual plane high torque. Didn't change much. So individual tuned port injection goes down a bit more torque. LS1, LS6 HP runner mods. Let's see, try that. Oh. So this is like serious, like what we just did. So we kept the same. It's exactly the same. No, let's put the compression ratio back. So it was a 9.5. So this is exactly what. This is a very nice explanation of the term. When tuners say you gotta get parts that work together. So this short block is exactly the same. We played with the race head, like this, the cylinder head configuration. Compression ratio is the same. We changed the intake manifold. We changed the exhaust manifold. So we just worked with all these. We put all these three to maximize top end. And look how much we've changed with top end. Like the bottom end is pretty much the same. But look how much the top end has changed. So top end here, so maximum horsepower here is like around, let's say 600 at 7,000 RPM. Okay, 600, 7,000. Now let's put everything back. So we'll go with the stock manifold, stock cylinder head, and stock. Now this is exactly the same block, same compression ratio, everything. So at 7,000 RPM, instead of 600, around 600, we're at not even 150, just by changing cylinder head and intake and exhaust. And this is what I mean by parts that work together, parts that are all designed to provide top end power, rather than taking parts off that some are made to enhance top end, some are made to enhance bottom end, and then you don't get the best out of the combination, you don't get the best out of the engine. There's more stuff here. Okay, so we could change this. Okay, let's try this max. Let's try the camshaft. So we'll go drag racing high speed profile or pro stock. Let's go drag racing high performance. Okay, let's go dual purpose street track, and we'll go with the large stepped, and we'll go with the LS1, LS6. With the wedge stock, we'll go the 4 valves. Now, oh, what's this bump? So 7,000 RPM, we're almost at 600. Let's try another camshaft. Let's try the Pro Stock Max Power. Wow, that's funny, it turned out all the power down. High performance street profile, 650. Street stock economy. Dual purpose. Drag racing. It'd be interesting to see why it's why airflow, why are we losing airflow here. So let's try to add some boost to this configuration. So induction is not going to be this, it's going to be forced induction. Blower type, roots blower. There's so many. Paxton Vortic, let's take the biggest one. Whoa. That's like a crazy power curve. Anyhow guys, I just wanted to give you a small demo of what this program is and what you could do with it. It's really nice. If you're like building something, building an engine, it is really good. There's not much. Let's try to raise the compression ratio. Take it 12.5 to 1. Whoa. Anyhow guys, if you get a chance to download this software, I think it's really nice. It's a really nice tool to use. Alright, I wish everyone the best.